My name is Jackson. This is episode 2 of the Debate Wheel, where I spin a random topic and ramble on for a minute about my thoughts and opinions. This is all going to be related to Lego Star Wars, so let's see what topic we get today. All right, helmet holes, good or bad? Very hot topic in the Lego Star Wars space. And honestly, from my perspective, I just don't really care that much about the helmet hole placements. I would probably rather have helmet holes than not have helmet holes, personally. Let's break down what helmet holes are and the controversy around them. So here we are, a standard clone trooper, and right here on the side, you can see there is a hole for an accessory piece to go in. And the main controversy is that right underneath it is actually where the hole should be. They molded a circle on the helmet, which is where the accessories do connect, and then they drilled in a hole right above it for where the accessories actually connect. So a disconnect between where Lego has them and then the in-universe spot. Now, they're used for accessories like this on the new Captain Rex guy, to put the antennas up or to put visors up, all sorts of those things. I think it looks great when you can add stuff like this to clones. Gives each person a unique variety and a space to customize what you want to customize and give them another level of accessories, right? If they didn't have helmet holes at all, you couldn't do any of that. You would just have base looking clones versus the option to add and take off different accessories to make people recon units or scout units or a command guy or a communications specialist or whatever you want to come up with to create. You lose that freedom by getting rid of helmet holes. So if the stance is we shouldn't have helmet holes, I strongly disagree with that. I'm fine with having some characters not having helmet holes if that's how it dictates, right? Like, not every helmet needs to have the holes, but for the most part, I think it gives you a lot of creativity and freedom to customize what you want to customize, and it doesn't take away that much. You can't tell from the front that it's got helmet holes or not. So they're pretty minimal. And I think the addition of having the antennas up or the rangefinders or the visors is a huge improvement on older clone helmets that didn't have any of that. So what people want, this is a good example, is that helmet hole there on this Mandalorian figure is in the right spot. That's where, Jesus, oh man, that is where that accessory would actually plug into. And so that is molded correctly on this new Mandalorian figure, and people just want that replicated onto the clones. It's just never bothered me that much that the helmet holes are where they are. I think the molding on these helmets is all white, so you really got to look in there and get nitpicky about that hole being slightly off. And it does place the accessories in the right spot that they should be. I don't know if I have any immediately on hand. The visors look good, the rangefinders look good. That's all the same helmet that you can customize and do those 3 different mashups with. I think that makes this cheaper because Lego only needs to mold and make one helmet, and then you can customize it to be a leader or a sergeant or whoever you want it to be. And so that brings the overall price down. If they're going to stop with helmet holes and then have to mold helmets that have visors or mold helmets that have antennas or rangefinders, I think that's asking for a crazy. The price is going to shoot up for needing to build custom helmets for one-off characters like that, versus the point of the clones is they're this base level that you can customize to make all the different ranks. So I don't think getting rid of them completely makes even remotely sense. I think Lego is all about plug and play and customize and do what you want to do, and the helmet holes allow for that. Now, should they be moved to their correct location? I think it's too low on the current molds. So the current molds, that white bump, I don't know if this is even gonna, that white bump is below the eye line, and so you sort of saw that. Putting a visor there would be wearing a visor right here. It just wouldn't look good. So they would need to remold some of that stuff. I just don't see them doing that right now. I don't know how many different helmets come from that base mold, right? They obviously mold the helmet and then they repaint it over. So all the shock troopers, all of the 332nd troopers, I mean, every specialty unit of clone that comes from that base helmet, it's not like they just have one mold. They have hundreds or thousands of those molds pumping out clone helmets all the time that then get sent off to their respective zones to be painted or to be touched up or changed or customized. So it'd be a bit of an undertaking for LEGO to make that change. And I think sales and people are still buying their stuff, right? They're not going to change if people aren't buying this. Or they're not going to change if people continue buying it. They would only change if people really stopped buying it and it was impacting sales. I just don't think it's a big enough issue that they're going to make that change. The other caveat to it is I know at some point they'll make a change that will stop with the backwards compatibility, if you can say that, of what's going on. But right now, if I have an old battle pack with some old clone troopers in it and I want to add the new visor piece on it, I can, because they're all the same mold configuration. Versus there's a chance when they redo a helmet, it won't be, the new accessories they make might not be compatible. And so if that's the case, that sucks because people like merging all their Lego together. I just don't see it being fixed. Therefore, I just don't put a lot of effort into caring about it that much. I know tons of people care about it. I know it's a huge contention that everyone freaks out about. Personally, I never give it a second thought. If anything, I love having helmet holes because they allow me to put custom stuff onto these minifigures. But it's just never bothered me. I feel like people should have their own opinions. Don't listen to every content creator out there. Don't listen to me about opinions on all this stuff, and buy and enjoy what you want to buy and enjoy. I hear a million times over major LEGO Star Wars content creators that will not stop talking about helmet holes. It's their number one gripe. It comes up with every set they review. It comes out with every single minifigure that comes out. And it is, to me, it's so annoying. We move on from it. Gotta move on. You have a gripe about it. We gotta focus on other stuff. It becomes, you get so narrow-minded and focusing on it being such a bad thing. It's like ruining sets for people. I don't understand how that could ruin the set for you or ruin Lego clones or ruin army building or whatever you're doing. Like, people need to be able to brush stuff off and move on. For me, Lego is, I don't know if I would say I take it seriously, but I enjoy it to an extreme level of casualness. And so little stuff like that, little nitpicks. I like customizing and making new interiors for my ships and building new minifigs and mixing and matching. And so that gives me the freedom to do a ton of that stuff. And so for me, it's a big plus. But I guess if you're purely collecting to show really screen accurate stuff and that's the style of collecting that you enjoy with Lego, then I can see that being a huge issue for you, in which case, yeah, speak your mind. But I think a majority of people are pretty casual enjoyers of Lego, and so it just doesn't bother them that much. So I know it's a big topic. I think it shouldn't be a big topic. I think people should move on from it. But also, I do think Lego has the space to make stuff accurate from the jump. I wish they'd made it accurate from the jump. There's no denying it's inaccurate, but I think it is what it is at this point, and I just don't waste a lot of time caring about it. So let me know in the comments if you agree with that or not, or if it is your number one issue with Lego currently. I'd love to hear about it. Love to hear some opinions and avenues of thought that I haven't approached or haven't considered coming in here. And I'll see you guys on the next one.